Well, they're yet to face off in a competitive match, but that doesn't mean that Liz Cambage and Lauren Jackson don't know all about each other.
I've never played against her before, and all I've seen is her kill it every game where she's played all over the world, so I can't wait.
Jackson on the trail can shoot this.
Welcome back. Oh my God, I've never seen a body like that. She reminds me of me, definitely. We've got another superstar over there.
Oh, Cambage throws it out of there. Today they come together for the first time in a game that means plenty to both teams. 30, Bulleen 21, Laurie Chiswick.
Whew.
Yeah, take a breath.
Take a breath, everybody. That was, I thought, an amazing quarter of basketball. Once both teams steadied in, we saw action from all sorts of different players. One thing I liked is that it was relatively high scoring, but you know what? The defense was still rock solid. We had bumping, we had physicality out there. Nobody's taking a backward step. Certainly, they have to address Lauren Jackson's three-point shooting.
Well, here we go. I mean, Bishop there takes a dive, and Liz Cambage, she started off in a really nervous way, it seemed, but she's really settled, I think, in the last two or three, in the second part of that quarter, I should say, Laurie.
Well, she has. She doesn't look intimidated like she did those first few minutes when Jackson came out and just blitzed, but have a look at the shooting percentages on both teams there. 57 and 47 in such a pressure-packed game is unbelievable, and 5 for 6 thanks to Jackson for those Capitals at the three-point line. To it.
Well, let's have a look at some of the second quarter highlights. I mean, it was different to the first quarter, wasn't it? I mean, it was 21-30 in the first quarter. In the second quarter, it was only 15 to 18, so it was a much lower scoring quarter.
Well, it was not only was much lower scoring, the momentum swings weren't as great. You felt that Canberra surged ahead a little bit, but Bulleen were always in it, and that kept for a really close game, or a close quarter, certainly.
Jenna O'Hea, we spoke about quite a bit in the call. She really took over from Sharon Milner in terms of control of the ball and the structure of the Bulleen offense.
Well, she was sensational, and not only scoring for herself, but getting her teammates open. We know she has great court vision. She leads that Bulleen team in assists, and she certainly showed us that in that quarter.
I thought one of the X factors in this game would be Tolo and Bibi off the bench. I still think that, but I reckon foul trouble is the biggest X factor in the second half now.
Oh, certainly. In fact, for both teams, it shows that little bit. Some of their bigs on both teams are in that foul trouble.
You can see on the stats there, Canberra's field goal percentage dropped markedly in that second term. It was up as high as 54% in the early stages, but they went a little bit cold. Bulleen yet to make a three-point basket there, Laurie, is interesting on the stats page. And Carly Wilson was right. Bulleen are killing Canberra on the glass. Lower again from both of these teams as they really were grinding it out. The Boomers managed to cut the margin by one solitary point from halftime.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if it was a fatigue factor in that third quarter or not, but the pace was definitely slower. Defense was still working very hard. Look, all the players were working really hard. It's just they weren't rewarded as much. Their shots were dropping a little bit short.
Hannah Zavik really took some steps in that quarter, didn't she, to showcase why Tom Mars said at the start of the season she was probably the most important recruit for the club.
I thought she was the most influential person on either team in that quarter. Her athleticism, every time she jumps, and that block that we saw earlier on was just sensational.
Bulleen smashing Canberra on the boards. They lead that category by 5, but the Capitals have their noses in front in most other statistical categories. The turnover count, that's finals basketball. Well, the star, the undeniable star for the Bulleen Boomers was their starting three-man, Jenna O'Hea. She is with Eleanor Sharp.
Jenna, congratulations. A fantastic individual effort by you and team effort. You had 28 points. You worked absolutely overtime. How are you feeling?
I'm a bit exhausted now, but it was just a great win. We were down pretty much all game, and it wasn't until about the 5-minute mark that we actually hit the lead, and then we just powered forward. I think all our training throughout the years really helped, and I think we're a pretty fit team, and that's how we were able to run over them at the end.
Just talk us through the game a little bit. You came out, to me, it looked like the Boomers were a little nervous during the first quarter, found a little time to find your feet. Do you think that was the crowd? I mean, this is a whole new experience pretty much for the Boomers.
Yeah, well, it's not a regular home game for us, you know. We normally play at the Bonito Club, and now it's moved away from our home, so it was just, we had to sort of set ourselves into the game, and I think by the second and third quarters we did that, and the fourth quarter was just unbelievable by everyone.
What was the message at half-time from Tom? Because you certainly, I thought, were a different team in that second half.
He pretty much just said this is the start of a new game. We didn't play very well in the first half, and he just said to play our natural games, not get caught up in the crowd and playing against the best player in the world, just to play our natural games. And we did that in the second half and ended up winning by 10 points, so it was great.
And you really stepped up, if you're the standout, I think, tonight. Is that something that, you tend to rise in the bigger games? Is that something you're conscious of, or you just go into automatic pilot?
I think I started off the season a bit slower. I had a back injury and didn't do any of the pre-season, so it's just taken me, a bit to get back into playing how I normally play, and I think that's coming along, which is a good time since we're going into finals.
Well, a fantastic effort, Jenna. Well done, and good luck for the final.
Thank you very much.
Brilliant performance by Jenna O'Hea, 28 points, 88-78, the final victory margin. Laurie, let's have a look at the numbers from the match. And as I said, the story of the game, well, story of Canberra's second half, really, they were stone cold. They were above 50% in the second quarter. They finished the game 37% from the field.
Well, and that can happen, Darren. You can just go cold. And unfortunately, Bulleen, I think, went the other way because they just took that fourth quarter by storm and really, really dominated.